Welcome back to Show You Real Estate Today. I never know quite how to sync in with the music, but yeah, you don't want me to sing because I've never had the same person sit in front of me in church twice. They asked me to lip sync. They sent that the other day.
Well, you just hum.
That's all right. That's all right. God doesn't mind. Just everybody else.
Right.
All right, so thanks for coming back with us to Show You Real Estate Today. If you're just popping on, we're talking about maintenance and summer tips, and I'm going to share with you some things around negotiating repairs. As I said in the lead-up first segment, that everyone is all excited when we get a contract. Certainly, you need that to get to the next steps.
Yep.
But there's so much more to go in the transaction.
Right.
And it's this is probably the most critical part.
Yeah. And that's a lot of times the deals fall apart in that next part too, don't they?
Boy, they sure enough do. Negotiating the repairs, getting through that, and it really weeds out the experienced agents from the inexperienced agents. I'm just going to put it right there.
Right.
In knowing not only how to read an inspection report, understand and interpolate an inspection report, but understand on how to communicate what is important in that report. So let me start out at the anchor. The anchor is that there's such a thing called a material fact.
Right.
A material fact is an issue that causes an adverse effect to the value of the property.
Okay.
Like mold.
Right.
Like termites. Yeah. Like structural issues.
Foundation issues.
Like leaks.
Right.
Like, yeah. All of those kinds of things. So whether the house gets through the transaction or not, those material facts, now that they are known, need to be communicated to everyone. And when I say everyone, this is what I mean. Everyone. Because if you don't disclose those that are known as a realtor, then that is a violation of your fiduciary duty. That's correct. So here's the thing. We all know that if you're the seller, your home is just fine. There are no issues, right?
It's perfect. It's just like my child.
Right. We also all know.
Little Johnny's perfect.
That's right. We also all know that new homes have absolutely nothing wrong with them, don't we, Preston?
Oh yeah.
There are no issues. They're brand new, right?
We don't need to hook up that drain line to the bathroom. It's new. We don't need to do that.
But we also do know, now I'm getting down to it, there's very little that cannot be fixed.
That's correct.
Right?
Yeah.
No job is too tough if you pay someone enough.
You have the right equipment.
Yeah, right. But the true relationship starts by getting very reasonable about that report and getting very reasonable about what is asked for. Friends of mine who are coming here from another part of the state of North Carolina are not working with me. They're working with someone else. And the buyers of their home, so they're not in control of this situation, have demanded that everything in their inspection report be fixed. And at some point,
even the cosmetic type stuff.
Everything. And
this is a seller's market too.
And so they've got a choice to make, because that kind of request is extremely unreasonable.
Especially with the way the market is too.
That's right. But there are certain things that if they did not fix them, they need to fix them before the house goes back out on the market.
Yeah, because
again,
now they know about a
material
fact.
Gotcha. Right? So those things.
So there were some major things in there that they're going to have. Okay.
Right. So, but it starts with taking that report and really honing in on the non-cosmetic, non-relevant issues.
Right, and that's where you're talking about the experienced agent. And I think you also run the risk of, quite frankly, ticking that seller off to just say, you know what, I'll take another offer. I mean, I'm not putting up with that because
right.
if they feel like they're getting nitpicked. I think that's where, like you said earlier, an experienced agent or non-experienced agent, even going into it, even before they have the inspection, they kind of prep them and say, here's what's probably going to go down because I've done this a lot.
Yeah.
They're going to find some material fact things. They're going to find some cosmetic things. If you really want this house, we need to just focus in on those material things. And the seller's agent, if they're experienced, needs to be prepping their person too and saying, look, because, they compromise on the price and then they don't want to compromise again,
Right.
But if you prepare them and say, you're going to accept this or that, but expect a little bit in repairs,
Right.
I think
Yeah.
prepping them, setting
Yeah.
expectations, I guess.
Absolutely. And, they reach a point where they can't sell them the house at a discount and fix it too.
Right.
There reaches that point. But, I think the reality is the contract in North Carolina sells the home as is. It says in the contract itself it's as is. But we all know that there's going to be a place that it's never actually as is. I mean, the client is going to ask for stuff. And I always tell my sellers that. They're going to ask for stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to fix anything, but they don't have to buy the house. So that's
right.
where it comes in. And
Just like you said, just get them prepared,
Yeah.
right? And if it's little stuff or it's stuff you're going to have to fix anyway, go ahead and fix it.
yeah.
Yeah, or give them money. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that too. Okay, so back to your point. So foundationally, kind of laying the coursework here. The crawl space is the
Right.
place where nobody goes, including me.
Yeah.
So I'm
That's
gonna back sell into this. The back sell in is if you're a seller, go ahead and get somebody in your crawl space before you market your house.
That's where the big ticket items, if there are any, that's more than 9 times out of 10, that's where they're going to be.
That's right. So go ahead and get that done.
Yeah.
If you let your termite bond lapse, get that taken care of. If you haven't had anybody down there to check your home, go ahead and do a complete home inspection.
Yeah, make sure they check underneath all your bathrooms. I can't tell you how many times ice maker's been leaking right there at the fridge, and the subfloor is all rotten. It's been leaking for 10 years. Anywhere you got a refrigerator, bath, shower, check underneath that.
Crack in
toilet.
a pan.
Yeah, and definitely check the moisture levels, and make sure there's no standing water. Moisture and termites are 1 and 2 doing damage to a crawl space.
Yeah. I mean, and it can be done quickly and easily to have a peace of mind going into there, and I think it's a selling point.
Oh yeah,
Don't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we recommend a pre-inspection to, basically being proactive instead of reactive, and the same thing. You're trying to find those material fact items and address them so that it doesn't come up as an ugly surprise on the
Right.
negotiation.
Right. So let's say that we do have issues.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're the seller, and somebody comes to you with issues. If I'm representing the seller or the buyer, I'm going to want them to not have the work done as the seller. I'm going to tell them, let's negotiate money.
I think that's smart. I'll tell you why. Because you're out of it at that point. As a seller, if you gave money, you're out. The problem is if you had it fixed and they move in and supposedly that fix didn't, like let's say a roof leak, and they did have a roofer come and fix it, and they didn't get it re-inspected, whatever. People move in and then hard rain comes and it leaks again. So now, wait, you're the one who had the roof fixed. They're wanting to come back on the buyer. Now, whether they can or not, I don't know, but they can certainly create trouble for them.
Yeah.
Or it's like you own it now, whereas if you give them money, it's they deal with the contractor, and if there's any problem, they deal with that contractor, and you're out of it.
Yeah, there's this term called also workmanship-like manner.
Right.
Who wants to argue about that?
Right.
And I guarantee you, as a seller, if you're asking me to fix a whole bunch of stuff, I'm going to do it the most economical way I can. Why not, as the buyer, take the money and do it the way you want to do it?
Right.
Don't.
It's good for both
And we don't
parties.
want Uncle Joe to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
And
think
if I'm the seller, like I said, I want to give them the money, but they sign off where I'm out of it. And if there's a problem with the contractor, it's between you and the contractor, not between you, me, and the contractor now. I'm out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think that we've got more to talk about. We've got more summer tips coming up. Preston and I are here, and we're going to share with you our knowledge around repairs and summer tips to prepare your home. So stay with us to Show Your Real Estate today here on News 1110 and 99.3 WBT. So you